Hey.
Hey, welcome to The Big Picture, episode 45. Yes,
And this is the place where we help you see
Think
and act big. All right. Dave, I'm so excited, but before that, every time that both of us we no longer report to an office technically, but every time I go I do need an office with a really powerful internet speed,
And we all are, we all need it.
and both of us are too impatient for a regular non-fiber coffee shop doesn't work so much anymore for us, right? I mean, the way we use like internet for business and for communication, basic communication, we need like optimum speed, and we can only find that in very few places here in Cebu. And here in Cebu, what's famous for that is like Workplace Cafe.
Yes, and we are currently here.
And we're currently here because we want to make sure that this broadcast, for example, has stable connection, and you get a lot of value from the money that you gave. So if you want to
check it out,
it's that's where we go. Dave and I. And then
so they have really good deals. You can check them out, and and if they ask you where you've heard,
just tell them you heard from the Big Picture.
Yeah, from the podcast.
And then the other thing, Dave, I'm so happy that like back in the day when we have to do marketing, we have to knock on different doors, and now we're so happy that we're actually enjoying we're actually enjoying digital age, and there's a company that we both love.
Yes.
It's called Carve on Tech.
Yep.
And it's called Carve on Tech because if you want to carve
your face or your brand online,
right,
that's where you go. So,
social media, what business now doesn't need to be online?
I mean,
every single one.
Yeah, every single one.
If you have sagging business, that when you want. Well, what if you
basically it's your store in the online world.
And the good thing there is you don't have to be that technical, right? Because Carve on Tech is there to help you, and both Dave and I are on it. And so just go to Carve on Tech.
Yes, that's Carve CarveON.com. So Carve on Tech.
And I guess the last couple of companies we'd like to mention is like this podcast wouldn't be possible if not for podcast engineers.
Of course, yes.
Yeah. Podcast engineers. That means just Dave and I just focus on content and building, connecting to interesting people like our guest for today.
Yes, which we will introduce in a bit.
So sorry, but we just record this and then send it to podcast engineers.
Yeah.
They'll take care of the rest.
And basically podcast engineers do the rest.
Right, exactly. And then the last is like, when we go to like staycation, we just want to relax. We go to Caras Condotel, San Remo Oasis Condotels. So it's one of the places that we go.
If
we even recorded
Cebu,
there.
Yeah,
we
even recorded
Cebu,
there. You can go there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm pretty sure you're so excited. Our guests for today, I met him online, and what can I say? I'm so impressed with the photos. The before and after photos drives me crazy. Like, how did he do this? And he did invite me to a group called Intermittent Fasting and How to Cope with It.
Yes.
And then I saw like a movement,
yes.
like people. And so I can't help but get inspired. And we talk about like being healthy. The Big Picture podcast is mainly a business podcast, but then Dave and I were thinking like,
it's gonna be holistic. So
it's holistic, but not more than that. Like, how can you have the energy to perform in your business?
It all starts in the body, right?
You only have one body.
Basically, yes. So we're gonna dig deep to those areas.
And so, we're bringing in the expert. We're bringing in, he doesn't want to be called an expert, but he's a testimonial to what this practice, this movement is. If you've been taking medicine to trim down, drinking a lot of tea to trim down, I mean, here's an alternative for you guys. And I'm just hold on to your seat, tuck in your stomach. Let's welcome Dennies Siongco, Mr. IF guy.
Woo! Thank you. Thank you.
How are
Joseph.
you? How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine, Joseph. Thank you for inviting me over.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. I mean, there's we're so excited when we see you online and you post this testimonials. It's just so encouraging for both Dave and I, because Dave and I, we'd like to be more healthy, you know? We'd like to have a more tucked in tummy. Yeah. But before that, like let's talk about you. Can you give us like
yeah, he wasn't healthy all the time, right? So there was a time.
How did you start that? And what
tell
was
us
the
the backstory?
scenario?
Oh, okay. Actually, I started doing intermittent fasting last June of 2018. All my life.
That's just what, like 8 months.
7 months ago. 7 months ago, June 2018. All my life, I'm currently 41. So all like 40 years of my life, I've been heavy. I've been heavier.
How much are we talking about here?
The heaviest I was around 280 pounds.
Can you give us a picture of how big that or yeah, you know, like what is the
What's that
size
thing?
of
What's
your
that? Yeah, waistline.
your waistline, your pants?
At 280 pounds, I think my waistline at that time was almost 50 inches.
Wow, 50.
50 inches. And then the peak of my 280 pounds was around last year, 2017. 2017. At that time, I was working in sales. 2016 to 2017, I was working with real estate. So I was in sales. So I go out a lot. I eat a lot. So that was actually my peak at 280. So last June, late 2008, early 2018, a friend of mine introduced me to intermittent fasting. And she told me, now, why don't you give it a try? So I did some research. Actually, most of the information are available online.
Yes.
So intermittent fasting. But the first thing that came into my mind was, how the heck will I not eat for 16 hours? And of course, there's always fear of, in Bisaya pa, malipasan ng gutom ba?
Yeah.
So there's always that fear that you will collapse because you're not eating for 16 hours.
You can't concentrate.
You can't concentrate. You
Yeah.
can't work. You can't do anything.
Or mabuang.
Mabuang, correct, mabuang. So it was like when I did my personal research on intermittent fasting, I told myself, it's not that hard. So when I tried to do intermittent fasting last June 2018, I just told myself, hey, why not? Just give it a try. If it will not work, then it will just be one of those diets that I've tried in the past and just go back to regular programming, and that's it. If it did not work.
Like a fad diet.
Like
no?
a fad
So
diet. Yeah.
let's talk about that. What are the things that you've tried in the past?
Okay. I've tried calorie counting before. So I've tried.
For our layman audience, what's calorie counting?
Calorie counting is basically doing food portionings. Like in the morning, how many cups I need to only eat this much rice, this much food, and then for lunch, this much. So you really measure everything, including the size of the meat that you eat. Okay, so I did calorie counting. It did not work because the tendency with calorie counting is during your meals, you try to limit yourself, then you feel deprived. So on the next meal, the tendency is you overeat.
Overeat, yeah.
Yes. I've tried also several fad diets. I won't mention them, but those fad diets wherein you take meal replacements like shakes or protein bars, or you skip a meal, replace it with another product.
Right. I have a question about, like, did it somehow work? It's just not sustainable, or there's really no effect?
Actually, I've tried several diet fads, and at first it worked.
Yeah.
But after like a month or two, you get to plateau. That means you lose weight at first, then
It's just
your
water weight?
maybe it's water weight, but basically if those types of diet, at first it will work because that would change your system,
Right.
your body system. But after a while, you get stagnant. Your weight gets stagnant, and then you will feel tired because you feel deprived because you're drinking a shake over a meal.
Right.
Then you will just stop using the product, and then you go back to your normal lifestyle. So basically, that's the problem with these types of diet. So when I tried intermittent fasting, that's the first thing that came into my mind. Actually, I consulted my doctor. Just to give you an idea, Joseph, Dave, prior to intermittent fasting, I have 9 maintenance drugs.
Wow.
What happened?
Since I was overweight, tendency is the first thing that happens to you when you're overweight is you get diabetes.
Oh, that's the first.
Then at the same time, due to poor eating habits, I have very high uric acid. I have very high cholesterol. I have very high triglycerides. Then I have maintenance drugs for oral medication. I have also an injectable for my diabetes. So at that time when I want to try intermittent fasting, I consulted my doctor, my diabetologist. Shout out to Dr. Jeremy Robles. He's actually the best doctor because when I consulted him about intermittent fasting, Dr. Robles told me, yeah, you can try, but how long will you last?
It was like a challenge.
It was like a challenge because I asked him, why, doc? Because I know several people who tried it after 2-3 days. It's what we call, it's like relapse, going back to what they used to do. Like, uncontrolled eating.
Right.
So when he told me, you can try, but how long will you last? I took it as a challenge, really, because for me, it's, as I said, if I will try it, if it will not work, then it will just be one of those fad diets that I've tried in the past. So I started intermittent fasting June 2. That's June 2, 2018. That's actually the first day. Then I told myself, I'm going to give it a try. If I will lose 10 pounds, 20 pounds, I'll be very happy. So I started June 2. Then I started the first week with the basic 12-hour fast. Basic 12-hour fast basically means it's like regular eating schedule, but you will just limit your food intake within 12-hour window. So an example will be you take your breakfast at 7 a.m., take your lunch at 12 or 1 p.m., and then take your dinner before 7 p.m. So
It's like an
before 6 diet, right?
yeah, that's like,
yeah,
yeah,
like, yeah,
after
before-
6.
after
Yeah.
6.
This is actually a diet that was made popular way back by
Yeah, I
a
heard
celebrity.
about that, yeah.
After 6, no meal. It's basically intermittent fasting, but at that time, there was actually no name for it because it was more of a fad diet that's been done by a celebrity. So people will like try
very
it.
few got successful with it.
Yeah, very few got successful with it because it's a norm in Filipino culture wherein when we watch TV, we need to have something to eat. So tendency is when we do
I'm guilty.
when we watch TV after dinner, we need to have something to munch, have something to eat. So usually the after 6 diet, a few people were successful with that, but there was no name for that. It was just known as no meal after 6.
Right.
But that's basically the 12-hour fast because after 6 p.m. no meal, then the next meal will be at 6 a.m. Usually the normal breakfast time is 6 a.m. So that's the basic 12-hour fast. But what I did during the first week, I tried to remove first the snacks. To be honest with you, personally, based on my personal experience, the snacks are the guilty pleasures. We tendency
What
to
snacks are we talking about?
the AM snack and the PM snack.
Like what
Oh,
kind
okay.
of snack?
It's like the after.
After lunch and
It's
the
like
after-
a
in
kind
the
of a
middle.
brunch.
brunch,
type.
yes.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the tendency is during our main meals, like breakfast, I diet ko, I won't eat that
Right.
much. Then, pagdating ng mid-morning,
There's no control.
there's no control. Then, dating ng lunch, ay, sige, diet ulit ako. You eat little. Then, afternoon snack, you eat a lot. Then, pagdating sa dinner, kakain ka ulit. So, tendency is, I know the traditional practice is to have 5 small meals. That's what,
that's
doctors
what-
are
yeah,
promoting,
promoting.
right? But sometimes the 5 small meals, tendency is, nagiging 5 big meals siya.
Right.
Without us knowing it.
Yeah.
So I try to remove the snacks first. To be honest with you, and I am guilty with this before, my snacks, my AM snacks, is usually carbs.
Yeah, we're talking
Fries, French fries.
Burger,
burger.
French
Wow.
fries,
Yeah, that's
spaghetti,
snacks, right?
noodles. Then my PM snack much worse. Sometimes pungko-pungko with matching puso.
So it's like it's
That's
really
like
a
a
meal.
meal.
It's like a meal. Yun nga, ang tendency is the main meal we'll talk about the main meal, the lunch, hindi tayo ganun kakain, pero sa snacks, minsan na-overeat tayo.
What was your snack? I mean, meal look like? Like your
My
lunch?
meal, I'll eat 1 cup of rice, then may ulam, ulam, then guilty ako, sometimes soft drinks,
Oh,
ganun.
yeah.
So the first thing I removed was really the snacks, and then I remove soft drinks, soda.
So you
I
in the
totally-
term of your
Yes.
and for the whole length of your
Actually,
intermittent fasting.
during until now, from the time I started, I remove soda, the sweets, to be exact, sweets, because I was diabetic. So I consciously removed my soda,
see.
the juices, the iced teas, the sugar. And then I also, after the first week, I remove rice.
Wow. So those are major
Yeah.
steps, right? You don't
Actually,
like
yeah.
What made you decide? Oh, which particular food to remove?
Actually, as I said, before I started intermittent fasting, I did
You did research
I
already.
did personal research. I browsed through online, and I learned that 'di ba meron tinatawag na keto diet, which
Yeah.
that's another story, That's
Yeah.
another type of diet. But the concept of keto diet basically is when you eat fat is converted to energy directly.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yes. But when you eat carbohydrates, once it go into your body, it becomes sugar.
Yeah.
Then from sugar, it converts to energy. We have to admit, most of us, we have
Sugar addiction.
we're sugar addict. At the same time, we have very sedentary lifestyle.
That's correct.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you
So
have to admit
since because your lifestyle is sedentary, once the carbohydrates is converted to sugar, it stays as sugar and it goes to your body. That's why there are a lot of people who are diabetic. That's the main reason. So since I was diabetic, I have type 2 diabetes. Going back, as I said, I have 9 medications all in all. So I have, aside from the medication from the heart, because I was diagnosed with cardiomyopathy. So I have cardiomyopathy. I was diabetic. My uric acid is high. My cholesterol is high. So I have seven oral drugs.
I might be preempting. You're no longer taking this now.
Right now, I only have 2 medicines.
Okay.
One for the heart, because I need to maintain that for the heart cardiomyopathy. And the second one is for sugar, because Dr. Robles wants to make sure that whenever I take my first meal, since I am type 2 diabetic, tendency is the sugar level will spike.
Yes. Yes.
So I need to have that one drug just to lower down and level the sugar level.
I see.
Yeah. So from 9, including the injectable, to 2.
Wow. Wow. That's
Well,
dramatic.
did that play a role in like making that decision to really do something about your weight?
Before I started intermittent fasting, the thing is, I went to my doctor, and the doctor told me that you really need to do something about your
Or
sugar.
else what?
I'm actually a ticking time bomb.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
To be honest with you, I'm a ticking time bomb. My sugar is high, my cholesterol is high, my uric acid
and you know
is
what's
high.
interesting? Like, a lot of people are like that, and some of
Yes.
them
Don't
they don't even know.
Yeah.
One more thing, like just a little bit. Can you move here? Because you're so dark. You're so
Okay.
dark there.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. Let's
Okay.
let's move. Yeah.
So-
wow. Interesting.
So I was like a ticking time bomb. So when my doctor told me that you have to do something about your diabetes, since when you have diabetes, your sugar in your bloodstream is high. So the blood is actually the life of the body. So
Yeah.
it goes through all the organs. So if your blood has very high blood sugar, the sugar will go to all your organs, your liver, your pancreas, your heart. So it will affect all the organs in your body.
Okay. So wait a minute. So when you started this is more than just for you. This is more than just losing some weight.
Yes. Basically, when I started it, it's more of a lifestyle change. I wanted to change
Wow.
my lifestyle. I wanted to be healthy.
Okay.
I have a 6-year-old daughter. And my daughter, at that time, I was 40. I'm turning 41
Yeah.
before I started intermittent fasting. My daughter is just 6 years old. One thing that triggered me into consciously doing a healthy lifestyle, doing intermittent fasting, was actually a friend of mine the father of my daughter's best friend, got killed last June. I don't want to mention the name anymore.
Yeah.
He was killed. Then her daughter is my daughter's best. His daughter is my daughter's best friend, and at 6 years old, like all of a sudden, in an instant, she doesn't have a father. So it was a realization for me na duha lang na either mapusil ka or you're killing yourself because of the
Right.
lifestyle that you're doing. And it was more of a ganun pala kabilis ang life, no? In an instant you can just leave this world and paano na yung 6-year-old daughter ko.
Yeah.
So it was more of a realization for me. And this is what I keep on telling people. It has to come from yourself. The group that I formed, the intermittent fasting and how to cope with IF, it's actually a group that I formed after 2 months of doing intermittent fasting. So when I started intermittent fasting, the goal is really for
yourself,
for myself, for me to be healthy, to change the lifestyle, because para sa akin at that time, the lifestyle that I have was not healthy anymore.
Right.
As I said, I was like a ticking time bomb. Anytime, walking in the street, I might just drop dead.
Okay. So let's talk about, we talk about your first month, right? What were the changes that you noticed right away? And then, was it because the problem with like lifestyle change is that automatically the brain, your mind will tell you it's probably too difficult for me. Maybe it worked for them but not for me. You know,
Yes.
the kind of mindset, right?
Actually, when before I started researching as early as late 2017, December, because the friend of mine told me, why don't you try intermittent fasting? Because there are a lot of people who've tried intermittent fasting, then ninaog daw ilang sugar. May daw. So ninaog daw ilang sugar. So I really have no first-hand information who these people are, but that's what my friend told me. So I did some research, and that's when I learned that, basically, when you eat, whatever you eat, it goes to your body. And, I've also done research about the carbohydrates, sugar thing. So it was more of a conscious effort. So when I tried it, nung first thing talaga na pumasok sa isip ko, kaya ko ba na 16 hours hindi kakain?
Yeah.
So, when I did research more, sabi ko, pwede naman pala 12 hours. So, I tried the 12-hour fast first. Baby steps. Then, this is what I would usually tell the new members of the group is, you try first the 12-hour fast, especially if you are extremely obese or you're in the obese stage. Right now, I'm still overweight. Yeah. For my height, I'm still overweight. But I used to be extremely obese.
Right.
When you say extremely obese, I was at my start weight last June was at 225 pounds. Because before I started intermittent fasting, from December 2017 up to first quarter of January, I slowly tried to cut down. But there's still this mag-cut down ako ng food pero bukas kakain ulit ako. Yung ganun ba? Yung parang it's a habit na pag if you don't eat, parang you're not satisfied ba? So, but I slowly tried to cut down. So, because the reason why I know that I was heavier prior to intermittent fasting, prior to my start weight, is I went to my doctor 2 weeks ago. My Dr. Robles has 2 clinics kasi, one in Chonghua and one in Cybergate. My Cybergate record, I tried to check. The last visit I was with Cybergate clinic is October 2017, and my weight was at 108 kilograms.
Yeah. It's like 200 plus.
Yeah, it's actually 230 something or 240. So 108 kilograms.
Wow.
Then
and how tall are you?
I'm just 5'4".
Wow, yeah.
So that's extremely obese, extremely overweight. So
what's the ideal weight for your
for my height? The ideal weight is 145 to 150.
That's in kilos. It's
That's
60. Yeah,
around 60 kilos. So I started trying to control my food intake until I started intermittent fasting. So my start weight is at 225 pounds or 102 kilograms. So the first week I tried the 12-hour fast. I removed the snacks. I was comfortable. To be honest, 12-hour fast is like an ordinary day. You just remove the snacks. You just eat properly during your meal.
You don't have like cravings or like...
My first week, I did the regular feeding. I eat what I eat during mealtime, but I remove the snacks. I consciously remove the snacks. But after a week, I tried to weigh myself. It's still the same. So parang walang effect sa akin yung 12-hour fast. So sabi ko, total, magfa-fasting na ako, might as well
Do an 8-16.
do at or 16-8.
16-8, sorry.
16-8. 16-hour fast, 8 hours feed. But before I did the 16-8, I tried to see kung saan ako mas comfortable na feeding time.
Right.
Because you have to be comfortable during your fasting and your feeding time, when your feeding time will be and when your fasting
Yeah.
time will
Make
be.
it super easy for you, right?
Actually, what I did talaga consciously cut out after my first week na hindi nag-move yung weight ko. I did 16 hours fast. My first meal is at 12 noon,
Yeah.
lunchtime. Then my last meal is before 8 p.m.
For 8 p.m. Yeah.
So from 8 p.m. to 12 noon the next day, no food intake. So during fast, just for our viewers, during fast, you can only take water. You can take black coffee. Black
No
coffee
sugar.
meaning no sugar, no creamer.
Not
And-
3-in-1.
Yeah, not 3-in-1. Just, Joseph, when I started intermittent fasting, this is when I consciously look at the label, the nutrition facts. Did you know that a pack of 3-in-1 contains like 60% sugar,
Yeah.
30% creamer, and
Like, let's compare it with a Coke, a can of Coke. How what's the, I don't know. Is it like the same or?
actually mas marami yata sa can of Coke. Yeah, mas marami. But like,
It's still a lot.
yeah, for a sachet of
3-in-1.
3-in-1, 60% of it is sugar. 30%
60%?
Yeah, 60%.
Wow.
More than half. Or let's just 50%, and then
That's still a lot.
yeah, 30% is creamer, then 20% lang ang coffee.
Wow.
Actual coffee. So, not to discredit the 3-in-1 producers, but
Because
you
you
know,
will sponsor. Just kidding.
no, but
The show.
so the sugar is really high for 3-in-1. So I discourage. So black coffee, water, you can drink plain tea. Plain tea meaning either green tea or black tea, as long as it's from a tea bag and it's unflavored, unsweetened. And then you can also take apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar, the pure apple cider vinegar,
Is
one
it like
tablespoon.
Bragg's?
Yeah, Bragg's.
yeah.
Yeah, 1 tablespoon in 1 glass of water. It's best taken with cold water because I've tried warm water. It sucks.
Why take apple cider? Yeah.
Actually, apple cider has no calorie. So, kasi
And it
coffee
helps with what?
actually it helps in digestion.
Like
But-
curb
Your hunger. But depende kasi sa tao because since coffee and tea are both bitter.
Yeah.
So that's actually an alternative. Apple
Yeah,
cider
I mean,
vinegar.
I take coffee and I don't get hungry even a little bit past 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can take black
The
coffee.
same effect for
Yeah,
apple cider.
Same effect for apple cider.
Without the caffeine.
Without the caffeine. Yeah. So for those who
Interesting.
who cannot take caffeine, so you can take apple cider vinegar, just 1 tablespoon into 1 glass of water. But in my case, I would rather take coffee because, as I said, it depends on the person.
Right.
That's a good thing about intermittent fasting is it depends on the person kung unsa iyang ganahan unsa iyang dili. No.
Ang question sa kwan ba? Apple cider. Can you take it? Because I've read somewhere, I forgot where, but I read somewhere nga mas nindot if you take it like as it is, like just pour it in a...
No, you cannot.
Why?
That's too strong.
That's
It will
too
destroy
strong.
your teeth.
Oh, yeah?
It's too strong.
and
That's why
I
you
think it
dilute
will,
it in water. Yeah. Damage your-
digestive tract as
yeah.
well.
Really?
So you put it
Yeah.
with water.
Yeah, you have to mix it.
You have to mix it with water.
It's vinegar.
It's vinegar. It's acetic acid.
No, they said that like ang vinegar daw is acid. If it goes to your kuan, tummy in early in the morning which you haven't eaten.
That's
anything.
debatable. No, let's
Yeah,
let's
there's a gray.
but
Actually,
Anyway.
for apple cider, it's still a gray zone. Some say apple cider is allowed. Some say it's not. But for me, it's okay because there's no calorie in it.
Yeah.
But in my case, I would prefer black coffee
Black
because sabi ko nga, depende sa tao. Like my taste buds, they get triggered with sour taste. So I love the taste of sour. So tendency is if I drink apple cider vinegar, yung taste buds ko ma-enhance.
Yeah.
That's why I try to avoid apple cider vinegar as much as possible. So I take black coffee or plain tea
Yeah.
or just plain water.
Yeah. So, so my question is like, was it like smooth sailing all throughout?
No.
So-
I want to be honest, it's not. After the first week, it's smooth sailing because first week is very basic,
It's
12
very
hours.
energized to do it.
Yes.
Right? Like you're
When I
excited.
shifted to my second week, that 16-hour fast, so no breakfast. So my meal is just lunch and dinner. Sometimes I eat snack, but basically I try to avoid that. Lunch, dinner,
2 meals.
2 meals, 2 meals, 2 meals specific. But for those who are just starting, you can actually have an afternoon snack, but very light afternoon snack just to tide you through dinner. And when you say afternoon snack, you choose healthy snacks. Like you can take an apple or a banana or an orange or maybe a glass of milk. Yeah. Or a hard boiled egg for your snack. For those who cannot adjust pa. But on my second week, I tried 16-hour fast, then 2 meals. Then I consciously removed sweets and rice.
So yeah, what was the difficult part?
The second week and the third week were hell.
What happened?
It was really hell in a way na mabilis uminit yung
Were
ulo
you
ko.
sick or something?
No, actually, yun nga yung sinasabi nila. Pagka
I heard of like
keto flu. Yeah. Keto flu, basically, it happens if you don't drink enough liquid. You don't drink enough water kasi nag-a-adjust yung body mo eh. Normal experience doing 16-hour fast na low carb, they call it low carb kasi meron akong vegetable eh. Vegetable has a carb component. So, what I did was vegetable and meat, then no rice. No rice, no sugar. That's what I did. Second week.
Wow, you
So,
You
rest
haven't
a
had
lot.
rice since June.
No, June first week, nagra-rice pa ako. So, after the first week, nagtimbang
Now
ako.
you don't take rice anymore.
No, right now medyo
A little bit.
At little bit. I'm trying to shift back the diet into low
Or
carb.
Are you trying to
asymptotic.
remove rice
I'm
altogether?
trying to remove rice actually. I'm trying to remove
Because
rice.
it's difficult to remove something that you've taken since like you were 1 year
Yes,
old, right?
that's true. That's true. So just imagine on my second week of intermittent fasting, I did 16 hours fast, 8 hours feeding. Then I remove rice, I remove sugar. I was like, may mag-overtake na motor. I would pull down my window. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, beep, beep.
You're irritable.
Irritable. Super. Because you're trying to remove sugar from your
Yeah,
brain.
and
So,
your body is like complaining that it's
Yes, that's
lacking the regular sugar.
the regular sugar. But,
Yeah.
after the second week, so I did 16-hour fast. I removed rice. I removed sugar. I got irritable for 1 week. On the third week, so bali second week ko ng 16-hour fast, it felt better. It felt better. So it's just 1 week of hell. But still, the temper is still there.
But did you feel like one of the like the craving? Did you feel chilled or something? Like are there like it's you're essentially removing a huge part of sugar. You're still
Yes.
taking, but then your body definitely does it have like withdrawal?
Withdrawal?
Yeah.
Siguro meron, pero ako
You didn't
hindi.
feel it?
I didn't feel it. It's more of irritableness lang. Naging
Okay.
irritable ako for that 2-week
Interesting.
period. Then, but, after, so first week is 12 hours. The second week, 16 hours fast.
Yeah.
After the second week, my weight started to drop.
Wow.
And that's the best part. When your weight started to move and you started to feel na your pants got looser,
Yeah.
your shirt
You have
felt
to buy new.
hindi pa
smaller shirt?
naman, hindi pa
Not yet?
naman kailangan bumili ng bago, but you feel na hindi na siya huot, ba? Hindi na siya body fit. So you feel good.
Naka-breathe na yung tiyan.
Naka-breathe na imong tiyan.
Tying the shoelace.
Yeah, I have a question. Like, let's talk about this belief na if you haven't eaten like mabuang or something like that. Like I know you probably have different experience, but just to make clear, like in your research, how strong, because like Filipinos grow up with a belief na if you don't eat a certain somehow you
yes.
lose your
You lose your senses.
yeah.
You lose
Screw
your
ang
mabuang.
imong nuts mabuang, right? So,
mabuang.
something like that. So
Actually, for us guys, sa lalaki, intermittent fasting is perfect kasi we can actually survive up to 72 hours with no food, but we cannot survive without water.
right.
But for women, it's totally different because they have hormones. So for women, the advisable maximum number of hours of fasting is just 16 hours.
That's true.
Yeah.
Is that
Yes, that's actually what's stated online, and based on research, it's still 16 hours because di ba, merong ngang book na men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
Yeah.
Basically, men and women have two totally different body types. So for women, they have hormones. So if they go beyond 16 hours of no food intake, tendency is their hormones will react because a woman's body is built to bear a child.
Yeah.
That's the explanation there. So since their body is meant to bear a child, what if hindi nila alam na buntis sila? So they have a child in them, then they would go for more than 16 hours no fast. So the body will naturally react if you go beyond 16 hours of no fast or no food intake.
Right.
So usually for women, I would recommend up to 16 hours fast. And then yung food intake during feeding, dun lang i-control. Pero yung mabuang daw na pag hindi ka kumain ng matagal na mabuang daw, that's not true. For guys. For girls, could be because the hormones is a very big factor. Tendency is if you go beyond 16 hours of no food intake for women, hormones will react and the basic after effect will be hair loss, na malagas ang buhok ba sa babae. Then, at the same time, hormonal imbalance, irregular period.
In the group, though, I see a lot of women, I don't know if they're doing an 8-16, 16-8 fast. The results were really good.
Yeah. Actually, if sabi ko nga sa mga members, my results will be different from Dave's results.
From body to body.
From body to body. Because in my case, like me and my wife, we're doing intermittent fasting together. She's doing 16-hour fast as well. And
she's okay.
Sa kanya, okay sa kanya. But when people would see us now, and sa mga friends ng wife ko, please do not say this to her because she will unfriend you on Facebook. Anyway, it's just joking. But whenever friends would see us, because I used to be very big.
Yeah.
I think you've seen in the picture,
Yeah,
diba? So right now, when friends would see us, Huy, Den, ang payat mo na. Ikaw, Car.
Oh, hi.
They're very tactless, to be
Oh my
honest.
goodness.
And, you know, sometimes kasi, sabi ko nga, iba-iba kasi effects sa tao.
Yeah.
Though, from her size used to be, for women, she used to be 2XL. Right now, she's wearing medium to large. For women.
That's good result.
Yeah. Me, from 4XL, right now, I'm wearing medium.
So it's just for you, it looks very dramatic.
Yeah,
right?
very dramatic because I used to weigh 225. Right now, I'm at 160.
Yeah, wow.
So you can really see the big change, the shrinking of the body. So tendency is it depends on the person. So if the person is really big, as in extremely obese, intermittent fasting is actually advisable to them because it will really help them lose the weight.
Okay. Let's talk about the group because you said you started it on the second month, right?
Yes.
Were you surprised that a lot of people got really interested? Because it ballooned to what, like 13,000 members, right?
I started,
and these are not bots. These are real people.
These are real people.
And really interested in intermittent fasting.
Yes. When I started intermittent fasting, June 2, I formed the group end of July.
Yeah.
So end of July.
What was the reasoning behind it?
Actually, the main reason why I formed the group is I want to have a support group. I want to have a support group wherein it will assure me, myself, that I won't slide back to what I used to do, which is overeating. It's like a commitment, correct? So when I formed the group end of July, from June, so whole month of June, whole month of July, I intentionally did not post any pictures in Facebook. Hindi naman sa mahilig ako mag-post ng picture, pero yung parang intentionally, I did not post any pictures. So my first picture was towards the end of July. It was actually the 18th birthday of my wife's niece. So it was a debut party. So I posted a picture of me and my wife together. So at that time, I lost around 20 pounds already.
Wow.
So it's already visible. They say the first 10 pounds, you will notice that. The second 10 pounds will be noticed by your family and friends. So the first 10 pounds, you will feel it yourself, but the people around you won't notice it yet. But on the second 10 pounds, that's when people around you will notice. So when I formed the group, that's when I posted my first picture after a while, after 2 months. So people were just saying, Huy, what did you do? Parang nigamay ka, ganon.
Right.
So I decided to form the group as a commitment so that I won't slide back to my
Right.
old lifestyle. And sabi ko nga, it's actually a lifestyle change. Intermittent fasting is more of a lifestyle change for me. So right now, when I formed the group, I added friends. Then mga friends, they saw the results, so they added other friends who are practicing intermittent fasting as well. Then the group slowly grew, and
And it is
surprisingly,
now, it's now have a life on its own. Like
right
people
now
are,
it's actually at 11,000,
Yeah, 11,000.
11,000, almost 12,000 members.
and if you go to this group, guys, like people are posting their before and after photos. It's very inspiring, and also like don't worry if you're a newbie. There's a lot of newbies also asking like questions,
Yes.
and Dennis here, I can see that he's very active in like answering those questions. I really like it.
Actually, the group, when I formed the group, it's more of a commitment for me that after 40 years of my life, I've tried almost everything and nothing worked. So when intermittent fasting worked for me, it just came to me na, we're not rich. We cannot donate to charity. Maybe this is my way of helping other people,
Right.
even
I
in
like
my
that.
small little way of sharing the lifestyle, the healthy lifestyle of intermittent fasting. Because to be honest, not all doctors agree with intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
Not all doctors agree with that, and
It's a new thing also.
it's a new thing. Yes, it's
I
a
mean,
new thing.
a lot of maybe there is no. Normally, we would agree if there's already a study on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe the study will come later.
Yes, actually, the lifestyle of intermittent fasting was just recently discovered. 2016, a Japanese doctor did a research
Oh yeah.
on this, and when you do 16 hours of fast, that's when the term is called lipolysis. That's when lipolysis kicks into your body. Lipolysis basically is when you starve your body with calorie intake. So tendency is when you eat something, your body burns, or your stomach digests the food that you take. It takes 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah.
So after 4 hours, when your stomach doesn't have anything to digest anymore, your organs will rest. So your stomach, your pancreas, your liver, these will rest. So when they're resting, lipolysis kicks in. Lipolysis is basically the burning of excess fats
Existing
in your
fats.
existing fats in your body.
Yeah.
So when lipolysis kicks in, so it needs around
It's like a survival mechanism.
survival mechanism. 12 when you fast for 12 to 16 hours, that's when lipolysis really kicks in. So the tendency is for the stored fats in your body, it will be converted to energy so that you can sustain your day. So you'll still have energy to work or to move on and move
That's the
along.
target of IF.
Yes.
I you know what I really like about IF is that you don't have to buy like something like a new thing that you have to purchase.
Yes.
It's very cheap. It's
actually-
easy to integrate.
Yeah, it's easy to integrate, and it depends on your lifestyle. There are a lot of members who would actually ask, what if graveyard yung work ko? Pwede ba yung IF? Pwede. Kasi the good thing about IF, it will fit into whatever your work is, whatever your schedule is. So you can schedule time to eat and time to fast.
Yeah.
And the good thing about it is you do your fasting during the time that you sleep.
Yeah.
So if you sleep for 8 hours, that means you just need 8 more hours.
For 8 more hours.
8 more hours for your fasting.
That's 4 hours in the morning
Yeah,
and 4
4 hours
in the afternoon.
or in the
Right.
afternoon, no?
Yeah.
So usually for 16-hour fast, I would recommend either you go for the feeding time of 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Yeah.
or 12 noon to 8 p.m.
Right.
Because why? Because basically, for somebody who works during daytime, during lunch, yan yung nasa work ka. So you go out with friends, you have lunch with friends. During dinner, that's the time you eat dinner with your family.
Yeah, and then so you work around the temptation, right? I
Yes.
mean, basically because like I still remember when I also started like dieting before. The problem was I have to eat with my wife and friends in the evening, and because I didn't eat so much
During daytime.
I overeat in the evening, and
Yeah.
the food that I take there automatically becomes like excess fat.
Excess fat,
right?
yes.
So that's the problem. But the good thing with IF, I really like it. It's because you only have this time and then you stop eating.
So when during my second week and third week, so it was hell. But after the third week, it was smooth sailing.
There were no how to call this, relapse along the way.
For me, no, because when I started to see my weight go down.
Yeah.
The more your weight goes down, the more you will be encouraged to do it, and the more you will continue doing it. I have friends right now who, after seeing, of course, my before and after photo, they would approach me, PM me. Then right now, their results are even amazing than what I've achieved, because some of them are really big. Then all of a sudden, they would cut down on their food intake. The
Plus,
effect was
they don't
really-
have to do research now. They just ask you.
Well, basically, it's not.
It's like basically you have the best practices already that work for you, and
yes,
then you can just
parang
copy
ganon,
it.
parang ganon.
It's
So when the results are amazing, but I'm telling them always na you don't rush things.
Yeah.
Don't rush things, because the tendency is when you rush things, paspas kayo yung weight loss mo at first, then bigla kang magpa-plateau.
Yeah.
Then madidismaya ka. Tendency is yun nga, magre-relapse.
So that's why you put your hashtag. I can see it's trust the process.
Yes, trust the process. That's correct. Kasi it's really a process. So what you do is when you're feeding time, make sure you're full. You eat properly during your feeding time. Then during fasting, observe strictly fasting hours. Don't cheat. And then, of course, trust the process.
Okay, let's talk about the group. And I know you have like a IF challenge right there in the
Yes.
group. Like, can you explain that to our viewers?
Yeah. Last December, part of the group's activity is I issued the challenge last December. Basically, you know how December is. There's a lot of food, a lot of
It's
sweets.
The hardest time of my life.
Hardest time of the year, really.
Exactly.
So when it just came to me now, why not do a challenge to the members? So I did a December IF challenge. It's actually for 3 weeks, I think, 2 to 3 weeks before Christmas, until the cutoff is December 23, so that you'll be able to enjoy Christmas and New Year, diba? Eating. So it started, I think, December 1 to December 23. So it's a 3-week challenge, and the challenge is to be able to lose, I think, 5 pounds
Per week?
No, 5
whole
pounds
thing.
for the whole thing.
Yeah, wow.
The whole process. So the challenge is to be able to lose 5 pounds. So at that time, so what is a challenge without a prize, right? So at that time, I was thinking more of, try to encourage our members to do IF. That's why there's a prize. So I was able to get my brother-in-law, Selpad, Edward, to sponsor a Huawei Smart Scale.
Yeah.
So Huawei Smart Scale, actually, that's what I use at home. Basically, the Smart Scale, that's why it's called the Smart Scale, is when you step on the scale, it will give you your weight. At the same time, it will also
Record
your weight through the app.
through the app.
And then it will not
Nice.
only just record your weight, it will also detect your body mass index,
Wow,
BMI,
I like
and
that.
body percentage fat.
I like that.
Body fat percentage. Because you step on your feet, barefoot, on the scale. So he gave me a scale for the price, and then I was lucky enough that Valentus Coffee also came into the picture. So Valentus Coffee gave some coffee for as a prize.
Yeah.
So the December IF challenge, I would consider it a success because December is really hard, and it's really a challenge to not eat during December, right?
Yeah.
So I think there are 8 members who joined. So out of the 8, I think there are 4 or 5 qualifiers. So basically, the challenge is just for fun. It's not as if it's a Biggest Loser thing. So it's more for fun to challenge members to really practice intermittent fasting. So after the December IF, so people received their prize, so they were happy. So there was a clamor to do another challenge. Another round.
When's the next challenge? Because I'm joining.
No, actually, the challenge right now, we call it the Summer IF Challenge. The cutoff is already finished. Sorry, Dave.
I'll join the next one.
You join the next
You
challenge.
joined the winter
On
challenge.
December. That's the hardest one.
The Summer IF Challenge, I actually launched it last January 15. And the weigh-in is the cut-off for weighing is this January 22nd, 2 days after Sinulog. It was supposed to be January 20, but we extended it 2 more days because, internet was down during Sinulog. So, people cannot upload their entries. Pero, typical Pinoy, last minute tsaka pumapasok yung mga entries.
How many joined this time?
I haven't really tallied how many joined, but more or less, I think it's more than 10, mga 15 siguro or 16. But I have to officially tally the number of entries yet. But so when I announced the Summer IF Challenge, that's the good thing about the group. The group is very big, so there are a lot of people now who are joining the group. So members from the group got amazed with the results of people who are doing intermittent fasting. So people who start to support the Summer IF Challenge. Actually, for the Summer IF Challenge, when I posted the sponsors for the Summer IF Challenge, daghan jud mga members, ay, sayang hindi ako sumali.
Yeah.
Di ba? I think you saw the comments, di ba? Sayang. Cellpod still supported us. Edward gave another Huawei Smart Scale. Then Valentus Coffee still supported us the second time around. Then we got Earhart Travel. They're giving 2 overnight stay for any Crown Regency hotel.
Wow.
Then I have the Body and Soul. They're giving 2 spa packages.
Awesome.
Then I have Kalayan Group. Lalen Kalayan, who gave 2 treatments for 2 winners.
Wow.
Then I also got Pacific Waves in. He's actually a classmate of mine. Jomar, I know he's tuned in right now. Jomar gave 2 overnight stay for Pacific Wave Inn. That's in Baler Aurora. And then one member who has an online shop, who has an online jewelry shop. The name of the shop is Precious Gems Palawan. She gave a 12mm South Sea Pearl pendant as a prize, which is, I was really surprised with the overpouring support from the members. Earhart Travel is owned by Sir Alex Chua. He's actually a client before when I was still in realty. And he told me that he's giving out 2 overnight stay because he was amazed with how the group grew and how people are so into intermittent fasting. And if I can still remember when he messaged me, sabi niya, I've read a lot about intermittent fasting, but I still cannot believe that I would know somebody who would become a poster boy for intermittent fasting. That's his exact term. So sabi ko, sir, grabe naman yung poster boy. Hindi naman siguro. Pero yun nga, thank you for all the supporters who are supporting the Summer IF Challenge. Meron pa ba akong nakalimutan? Teka. I think but, we can go through it later. But
picture will soon sponsor.
Let's
get the challenge first. Let's join the challenge first.
I'll join it first. Let's talk about like what's next for you, because I heard from a very close friend of ours, Dave. Can we talk about that?
Yeah. Actually,
you're doing a show. Right?
Yeah, it's in the pipeline. Our friends from Passion Cafe TV, Jake, approached me and he told me that, are you open to doing a weekly podcast that will talk about intermittent fasting?
Woo!
So I was like, at first I was hesitant but the group is growing and I think the podcast will really help more people get into the lifestyle. And at the same time, the lifestyle itself, it's actually sustainable. And I'm still doing intermittent fasting right now. Though right now medyo mas marami ng cheat days compared before. And this is actually the basic question. How often do you cheat? Do you even eat? Actually, I even received questions, do you even eat, Dennis? Because as you can see, di ba, medyo talagang drastic yung changes sa akin. But I would tell people na, I'm still eating. I still enjoy eating steaks. I still enjoy eating lechon. I still enjoy eating whatever I want to eat. If I want to eat a 2-piece chicken from the fast food with a B, I eat that. So, but I skip the rice. I skip the rice.
Skip the rice.
So the security guards from the B fast food, love me because I would usually give
they
the
give the
rice.
rice.
Yeah, I give the rice to them. And actually, one of the posts that I made in the group was, why don't fast food, do an option for their meals to have no rice? At least give you a 5 peso discount for the rice, and they can sell the rice to somebody else,
Yeah.
diba? They would make a profit for that. But if they can do their meals without rice, they'll give you a 5 peso discount. Then that would be great, right? So
Right.
because a lot of people are into the lifestyle of intermittent fasting. So yun. One good thing is I'd like to acknowledge a friend of mine. He's working with the other fast food competitor of the B because
I love how we're trying to avoid this.
yeah, Erickson, hi. He's actually working with the other fast food chain, the competitor of the B, and their fast food serves ice black coffee. You have the option to do that because usually for brewed coffee, diba, we drink black coffee during fasting. So brewed coffee is hot. So syempre ang may ice lang are the major coffee shops, diba?
Right.
So for this fast food, can I mention? Yeah. McDonald's, you can actually order iced black coffee. You can just
specific branch.
yeah, no, for all the branches,
really?
branches, you can order. Mo order kong coffee is iced black coffee, no sugar, no creamer. Because my experience with other fast food, they would say, ay sure, nakamix na kasi yung mixture namin for the iced coffee with creamer na siya and sugar. So, but McDonald's, they allow iced black coffee. So, kudos
Oh, thank you.
to that fast food because
Hopefully Jollibee will follow. Now we're mentioning price.
no, kasi because the reason why I'd like to acknowledge Sir Erickson and the companies because they're very flexible. To be honest, they're very flexible because I think they know a lot of people are into the lifestyle, and since just to cater to the lifestyle, so they allow iced black coffee, and it's the same price as a regular brewed coffee. You don't have to add anything additional, which is good. So I hope, Sir Erickson, you will be able to also consider having your meals without rice.
Yeah.
Diba?
Yeah.
That way, more people will support your fast food.
I'm curious about without rice. What do you have alternatives?
Actually, my meals usually is protein, meat, and vegetables. Vegetable actually has a carb component.
Yeah.
What
kind of vegetables?
green leafy vegetables.
Okay.
Any vegetable that is not underground,
Not root crops.
not root crops, because root crops are starchy vegetables.
Yeah, starchy.
I
So
see.
specific root crops that are avoided basically are, of course, potato. We try to
Potato is essentially rice.
yeah, it's essentially rice. It's starch, no? Then you have sabi nung yung iba, ay hindi ako mag-rice pero magkakamote ako.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually the same. It's still
Same,
carbs, no? But that's the good thing with intermittent fasting. I'm not saying rice is not allowed, ladies and gentlemen. Rice, you can eat rice even if you do intermittent fasting. It's just that on my part, I consciously removed rice from my diet. I did low carb because of my diabetes, because of my sugar. But you can eat rice. But
You're also making it easier for your body, right? I mean, to just burn existing fats.
existing fats. But if you're a rice eater, you can actually eat rice even if you're doing intermittent fasting. So you will do a 16-hour fast. Your first meal will be lunch, then your last meal will be dinner. You can still eat rice. You can still eat your favorite food or favorite.
Dessert?
Yeah, you can still eat dessert, but in moderation. That's what I
moderation.
keep on telling people. Since I think 90% of people who are doing intermittent fasting, their goal is to really lose weight.
Yeah, the thing for what I've observed, and you can verify or what, like one of the observed for myself is that I have a sweet tooth, and I always like to eat this dessert, right? There's certain dessert that I'm gravitated into. I can't say no to these things. When I started intermittent fasting, somehow my desire to eat this food lessen
Yes,
dramatically. I don't feel as much, I'm not as much drawn to them as before.
Yes. Actually, to be honest with you, rice and sugar, they're very addictive.
Yeah.
Once you've tried a little, you crave for more.
Yeah.
So the tendency is, like in my case, I've been trying to remove rice and sugar. So whenever sometimes you'd have this craving, you wanted to have a little something sweet after your main meal, you will order, like for example, a slice of cake. What I would usually do is I would order a slice of cake. I would just use the fork, have a fork full, and give away the rest. Because once it's in front of you,
Yeah.
you can't stop. You can't stop. It's very addictive. Sugar is very addictive. So once you've tasted it, the same thing with diet colas. Diet colas, yung mga zero calorie, they have artificial sweetener. They have zero calories, but I won't recommend them because the tendency is once you've tasted sweetness in your tongue, the tongue is a very tricky part of the body. You will crave for more.
Right.
So tendency is since you've tasted something sweet, you will crave for more sweet.
Yeah.
So I will not recommend.
It will just break.
soda.
It
It will
break
just break your
whatever
fast. Yes, whatever fasting you're doing. So
That's actually the enemy now. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, sugar, you have to really cut.
you have to really cut that
Right.
sugar.
That's
That's
a
the
really good
first
point.
thing you need to cut. Then, if you can cut out a little of your rice, replace it with vegetables because vegetables are also fiber, so it will help digest also the food that you take. So a lot of people are asking, the first question that members would usually ask is, how do I start?
Yeah.
All the informations are actually in the group. You can just go to the announcement page.
Yeah.
There's a post there that's pinned there that says how to start intermittent fasting. All the details are there. You can visit that tab and read through it. Then if you have further questions, feel free to post them in the group and or PM any of the admin, and I'm sure my admins will be happy to answer your question. I actually have 3 admins, and with me were 4. So the 3 other admins, I appointed one who is based in Manila, one who is based here in Cebu, and the other one is based in Mindanao.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Nationwide.
nationwide. Oo.
Nationwide coverage.
Movement,
Awesome. Right.
So yun. So for those who are interested to do intermittent fasting, feel free to visit our group. You'll post the
we
link.
will link
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
in
we'll
our
post the
show
link.
notes.
You will post the link online. And then for those who have questions about intermittent fasting, feel free to join the group and post in the group. That way, we'll be able to address your concern. And as I would always, my doctor would usually remind me, Dennis, you have to remind your members that each person has a different body. So each person has a different style, different approach. You have to find your own style. You have to find the thing that would work for you. What worked for me doesn't necessarily work for you, Dave, or for you, Joseph. So it depends on how your body would take intermittent fasting. If you are under any medication or if you're under any medicine, please ask for your doctor's supervision first before you do intermittent fasting. Because I am just an IF practitioner. I've tried intermittent fasting. It worked for me. So if you have any concerns regarding your health, consult your doctor first. That way your doctors can advise you on what to do. Because there are people who are asking at the group in the group ba, Joseph, na I have ulcer, I have diabetes, I have maintenance for high blood. Can I do IF? I would usually tell them, you consult your doctor first. That way, your doctor can tell you what is the right approach. And I would usually tell them not all doctors would recommend intermittent fasting, but it's up to you if you want to try it because it's your body anyway, right? So
Right. That's
it's
true.
your decision.
So
Yes.
like just a little discretion, but then a lot of the information about how to go about it is available. There's like a plethora of information already in the group. I'll be posting it just about now in the
Yes.
live,
Yes.
and then of course when we do the official release, the link to the
links.
group
And we'll add photos.
and photos.
We'd love to have photos
yeah.
of Dennis.
It's you know what I really like, Dave and I really like about this is because it's probably one of the easiest thing to do.
Yes.
Before it's so people will always say in Bisaya nga sayon magpatambok, listen magpagamay. Yeah.
Tinuod. That's very true.
The thing is, it's now. There's already a framework that you can follow. Of course, there's a little bit discretion in your end, especially if you have like maintenance medicine and all that stuff there. I mean, yeah, be prudent basically.
Yes.
But for a lot of people, nga kuan tambok ng yun, and you wanna lose those weight and live a little bit healthier and happier. Yeah, I mean, this is a really good option.
Actually, there are a lot of things that I cannot do before that I can do now.
Yeah.
After losing, I lost a total of 60 pounds.
How much is that in? I always think in kilos. What?
60 pounds, that's around, no, actually, yeah, 60 pounds. No, 225, I'm now 160. So that's 65 pounds, sorry, 65 pounds. So it's around.
That's like 27.
27 kilos.
Yeah.
Yeah, 27 kilos.
29.
29.
65 is 29. Almost
yeah.
30 kilos.
Almost
Wow.
30 kilos, yes.
How many fried chicken is that?
So I was like, there are things that, to be honest with you, prior to intermittent fasting, since I'm diabetic, my sugar level, I'm sure it's soaring high. So my car has a lot of bumps and bruises. Then I would usually sleep from 9 p.m. Then I would wake up at 5 a.m. I still feel sleepy during daytime. I don't have the energy because the sugar is really very high. When I started intermittent fasting, my wife would usually tell me, "Oy, alas 11 na matulog ka na," or "alas 12 na matulog ka na." Because she would fell asleep with the kid first, because my daughter sleeps with me, with us, no. So usually she would wake up at around 11:30. I'm still on the iPad. I'm still browsing through the internet, and she would tell me, "Oy, go to sleep na. It's 11:30 na." Then that's when I would usually sleep whenever I feel sleepy. So
Right.
when I usually feel sleepy around 11, 12.
Yeah.
Then my alarm is usually at 4:30 in the morning. By the way, one thing also that helped me in losing all the weight is I do walking.
How many?
That's as simple as walking. And people would ask me, "Do you work out? Do you go to the gym? Do you run?" No, it's just walking. And
For like an hour?
actually, walking, my goal every day is 10,000 steps.
Oh, so you hit that.
Yeah, I
so
hit
you have a
that.
step counter.
I have a step counter on my phone. You can download the step
That's like
counter.
about an hour walk.
Yes, about an hour or more, depending on your pace, no. But my goal. I started before I started intermittent fasting. I started walking. My goal was, I set it at 5,000 steps. When I was reaching 5,000 steps, I set it up to 7,000. Right now, my goal is 10,000 steps. Usually in a day, in the morning pa lang, I would hit 10,000.
Yeah.
Because I give time talaga. I wake up at 4:30. I start walking.
What do you do? You walk outside.
I am actually a member. I forgot one of the sponsors. Sorry, Cedric. One of the sponsors for the IF challenge is Fitness Nation.
Yeah,
They're giving out actually 2-3-month membership for the summer IF challenge.
Awesome.
Now I'm really regretting not joining.
I'm a member of Fitness Nation. Thank you, Cedric, for sponsoring the summer IF challenge. I would usually wake up at 4:30. Imagine I sleep 11:30, so 12:30, 1:30, 2:30, 3:30, 4:30. 5 hours of sleep.
5 hours of sleep only.
5 hours
You
of
don't
sleep.
sleep in the day.
No.
Okay.
And
so,
I don't feel sleepy at all.
Oh, that's good.
That's
That's good.
I
You
don't
really
feel
need that
sleepy.
productivity. You're
Yeah.
becoming more productive.
I'm becoming more productive. I have more energy
Yeah.
because
Wow.
I'm doing intermittent fasting. So usually my alarm sets off at 4:30. Sometimes I forgot to set my alarm. I wake up automatically when it's 5.
Yeah.
Wow.
No doubt. No ifs, no buts. Even Sundays, I wake up at 5. If there's no alarm, but if there's an alarm, 4:30, it will alarm. I'll prepare myself. By 5, I'll be at Streetscape. I'll be just walking around Streetscape until the gym opens at 6. So after walking for an hour,
You go to Fitness Nation.
I go to Fitness Nation.
there.
I try to lift some weights now.
Now.
Yeah,
Just
now.
recently.
Just recently, but usually before it's just walking. So, another myth that I'd like to debunk is you need to sweat to lose weight. It's not true.
Wow.
You don't have to really
This is the
sweat.
first time I've heard.
You don't really have to sweat to lose weight.
Oh, yeah?
You just need to move your butt. Because the tendency is, then this is actually one of the posts that I did in the group. No, you have to move more. The tendency is with us, especially with us Filipinos, since sanay tayo sa bahay na tayo katabang, na ay masugo, or sa office, when we're the boss, we have the messenger, the secretary.
Right.
Dai, photocopy mo nga to, Dai. Can you buy me something, Dai? Or, ay, dong, paliti ko ng lunch, dong. You know, instead of asking somebody to do something for you, why not do it yourself?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
pick your butt up,
You really hit me
walk
there.
around.
And you know what? Sitting down for a long time is actually,
Yeah, it's actually
really
deadly.
bad for
It's
you.
deadly.
Yes,
It's actually
It
deadly.
kills you, yeah.
It kills you.
And that's the conscious effort that I realized when I started to walk
Right.
more, move more.
And you know, there's a lot of discussion about walking
Yes.
also.
Yeah.
It helps the mind concentrate and focus more.
Yes.
So
So
that's
what
very
what
good.
I usually do in the morning is at 5 a.m. I would usually walk at Streetscape. So for those who are living near the area of Streetscape,
You can walk. They can walk with you.
Yeah, they can. You can come join me every morning. 5 a.m. I'm usually at Streetscape. I would walk around. Of course, if you want to shower after your walk, you can always join Fitness Nation.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a great gym there. Then they have sauna, they have shower. It's actually one of the best gyms here in Cebu. So I usually walk an hour, 30 minutes to an hour. I started with regular 30 minutes because before I start at 5:30. So 5:30 to 6 mag-walk ko, then mag-gym ko gamay. Tapos ngayon minove ko na, I started 5. So 5 to 6 I would walk there for an hour. Then after walking for an hour, I would hit the gym. I started doing more weightlifting because the trainers there at the gym are telling me you have to start building your muscles
Yeah.
because you've lose a lot of weight. So tendency is your skin is stretched when you were big.
Yeah.
So you need to fill the gap between the skin and the muscle with more muscles. So I'm starting to lift weights. So yun. Then you can feel free to join me every morning at Streetscape, my morning walking routine. Then
Awesome.
right now I'm starting to, since as I said earlier, when I started losing weight, right now as my current state right now, I can do more things. I can go up 3 flights of stairs without catching my breath.
Right.
I can actually jog more now. So hindi na lang siya walk. So I do jogging na rin.
Your knees can support you.
Yeah,
now.
my knees can support. But my doctor told me, if you're going to join fun runs or jog, you just like the maximum will be like 3 kilometers.
Yeah.
3 kilometers
For now.
muna. For now, yes. Then surprisingly, earlier today, what happened was my appointments today got mixed up. So I had an overlapping appointment. So I had an appointment 9 a.m. in IT Park. Then I had an appointment in our office, which is in Subang Dako at 10 a.m. So just imagine 9 a.m. my appointment. After my appointment, 9:45 na yata ako natapos or almost 10 na. So I had to be at the office by 10. I was trying to get a Grab because I didn't bring my car eh. I know IT Park is grabe jud lisod ang parking, di ba? I didn't bring my car. I just got a Grab from the office going to IT Park. So from IT Park going to the office, lisod kumuha ng Grab tapos walang taxi. When I was waiting for a cab or a Grab to book, naay motor na ni Age. Sir, ganahan ka manghabal?
Yeah.
So sabi ko, dayo man amo ang office sa may Subang Dako. Sa man Subang Dako, si ko Lopez High na sa may duol sa Datondenya, that area.
Right.
So the ADG IT Center. So sabi ko, okay ka doon? Sabi niya, pila. Sabi ko ganon. Sabi niya, ikaw sir. Sabi ko, dili ko ganahan. Ikaw sir, pila man. Sabi niya, 80 pesos daw. So sabi ko, go, sige, habal-habal. Because I'm late na. For the first time in my life, I rode the habal-habal ko. Which is really an achievement for me because, when you're big, mahadlok man ka mag-ride sa motorcycle.
Yeah.
Because for me, I grew up, I never learned how to balance myself in the bike. I don't know how to use a bike. I don't play basketball.
Yeah.
During high school, pag basketball ang PE, parati ang role ko, coach lang ko.
So you were big at that time, right?
I was big. Actually, there's a picture in the group wherein I posted my picture during my high school prom. That was 25 years ago. And then my current picture, which I'm wearing a coat,
Yeah.
and I'm actually smaller than my high school prom
Wow.
picture. So,
This is like the
25 years
smallest that you are.
challenge.
Yes, this is
since,
actually
since your high
Wow,
school.
this is
Yes.
amazing.
Amazing.
This is the smallest I am. So when
Wow.
the riding habal-habal earlier was really an achievement. It was actually
Achievement unlocked.
Achievement unlocked, correct. I've been wanting to try riding a habal-habal. Never got the guts until earlier because my appointments overlap.
I think it's a really good story.
Yeah, so
I like that.
So ganun pala yung feeling na nasa habal-habal ka, mahadlok jud ka kay ang motor
Yeah,
mo,
yeah,
jojo, ganun ba? They would just, go kung merong gap,
Yeah.
jud sila. And sabi ko, nung una sabi ko, maipit akong tiil ba? But, it was just like,
It was
it was an experience.
faster way of traveling.
Faster way of traveling at the
a
same
little
time.
bit thrilling.
Thrilling, yes, true. But I never learned how to ride a bicycle because I don't know how to balance myself because I was big ever since grade 1.
So IF, really gave you that, this experience, no?
Yes.
Yeah, it's really
Actually,
good.
that I posted like about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I'm thinking of learning. I'm thinking of doing news other stuff. So I was thinking of learning how to bike or
Yeah.
to play basketball, and I posted
Can
a
do it
question na
Amazing.
now. Is it too late for me to learn how to ride a bike or play the basketball? Because I never experienced that all my life. So people would the comments from members would say, yeah, it's okay. You can try new things right now. You're fit already, so
Yeah.
you can try new things. But they would tell me na do bicycle rather than basketball kasi impact sports basketball. So
Yeah, maybe you can do a lot of shooting and
Mm.
drive.
yun nga, parang sabi
You're
ko, never ko na-experience yung
Amazing.
musakay sa habal-habal. Today is actually an achievement unlock for me.
Let's clap our hands for All right.
Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and experience. Both Dave and I always get encouraged, and every time we invite someone who is a practitioner, both of us,
Just inspiring. It's very
not just inspiring, Dave. It's like it's like a kick in our butts, right? And
I
can
think we
get
should maintain
moving
this.
maintain this.
Yeah.
And we usually end this segment of the program with both our learnings and takeaways from this. So let's start as usual with Dave.
All right. So for me, Dennis, I've learned that you might have said this like directly to everyone, but you were able to really take on the challenge, right? And you did it step by step. You did with the first with 16, right? Oh, was
12,
that 12?
12,
Right.
yeah.
And then you went to 16, and then you lose the rice. Then you walk for an hour or so. So and for 5,000 steps, then you reach to 10. It's like hitting one mountain and another and another. And I think that's really important because if you think about it, if you think about Dennis right now, and if you're still starting out, and you think, oh, he's doing the 10,000 steps, he's no rise and no, you will be overwhelmed basically. But what I'm trying to point here is that if you just start with that 12-hour fast, take that baby step, take those baby steps. I think that is how you do it. Don't get overwhelmed. Try to be comfortable about doing those baby steps, then move on to the next and keep on challenging yourself because guys, you can do it. If Dennis can do it, you can do it.
Actually, that's what I call small wins.
Small wins.
Yeah,
Exactly.
small wins. You need to do small wins because those are the wins that will make you feel better.
Yes.
It will boost your morale. It will encourage you more to do. Sabi ko nga, kung ang sugar nakaka-addict, mas nakaka-addict ang IF because once you get the hang of it, once you start losing weight, once you start feeling good, once you start feeling your pants getting loose, your belt holes from the first hole moving to the fifth hole, and you started to cut your belt because it's too long already. My belt, this is actually my belt before. This was given to me by my wife last Father's Day.
Yeah.
June is Father's Day, right? June. It was given to me. It was size 44.
Yeah.
Because I used to be size 48, size 44 or 42, I think. I already had it cut through McGym twice. Wow. Then right now I'm wearing a size 32 pants.
Wow.
From a size 46 or 48.
We're not gonna talk about our past pant size now, but wow, that's amazing. It's inspiring.
And On my last post, the challenge that I threw to everybody was, if a 41-year-old extremely obese guy can do it, why can't you?
Right.
Joe's learning.
My learning is, and this is what I ask you, like, what was your motivation, right? And then you said, like, I have a 6-year-old daughter, and there was that moment where that was an epiphany moment for you, where you said, like, you know what, I have to do something, and I'm gonna go back to that because, like, I also talk to a lot of people who are like doing IF, or no, who are wishing that they can do IF, but in their mind there's always this impossibility because maybe I will not survive. And by the end of the day, is you have to figure out why you're doing that, because unless you figure that out, your strong why, your motivation, why you want to cut down your weight, remove the excess fat in your body, live a little bit healthier and happier. Unless you figure that out, there's not gonna be step one. Right? Yes. I mean, I believe the only reason why you did those research was because you have a stronger why. You want to enjoy more your family and all that. So, like for me, and I don't know for sure for Dave also, that's what we need to figure out. Like, para kanino ka bumabangon,
correct.
Yeah.
Kanino ka kumakain? Sakto ba?
And just to add on, like,
Sure.
so like we had an interview just recently with Jay Aldeguer, and so check out that interview. But the point is, like, if you're thinking about just looking good, I'm gonna put this out there because I've failed a
Go
lot
ahead.
of times. Like, if you're just doing it to look good and not actually to really know the deeper why you need it, I think that's a recipe for disaster, right? Like, because
Right.
it's just, it's all about the external stuff. But if you want to dig deeper, like you want to be really healthy, and there's so many things at risk if you're just gonna continue that highway to hell with the unhealthy habits. I think that's when you really figure out and you really take action. So I think that's important.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's go to our
Finally,
lightning round.
Oh.
Okay, this is just very quick questions, right?
Okay.
Like I will ask you. Okay, you've discussed about your morning routine. Is there any other routine that you are doing for, like, to keep yourself fit and healthy?
Well, I consciously use the stairs
Okay.
in the office because that would actually add more steps to my step count. Then at the same time, that also will help me to move more. So whenever I go down the parking, our parking's on the second floor, our office is on the fifth floor, I would usually use
the stairs.
going down and use the stairs going up. Awesome. Except if I'm with the client, because the client uses the elevator, so you have to go in with them. But my conscious effort is to use the stairs going down and use the stairs going up. Then at the end of the day, sometimes you have days like you just have to sit the whole day because of training or meetings. So at the end of the day, around 4 or 5 p.m., if I see that I haven't hit my 10,000 step mark, because sometimes, when you wake up in the morning, it's not all the time you wanted to, hit 10,000 immediately in the morning. So when I was just starting, when it's 4 p.m., 5 p.m., office work is out, and I see my step count is just in 5,000, 6,000, I would usually go to Landers and go inside and just go around the aisle, walk and walk until I hit 10,000 steps.
Okay.
So it's a conscious effort, really.
Yeah. So also, aside from your group, right? Do you have any books or resources that you recommend to our audience?
Actually, I follow Dr. Eric Bergs online in YouTube. He has a lot of very informative videos. But basically, you can get a lot of information online about intermittent fasting. Just type in intermittent fasting and you try to read through. The problem with us Filipinos is we don't read.
Hopefully not everyone.
Listen to the podcast.
So we don't read. We don't usually search. There's a search box, people. You can try to use the search box and try to search for the information that you need. And all the information are actually available online. They're easy to look at. They're easy to read. If you don't want to read, there are actually videos in YouTube that you can search about intermittent fasting. So, just use the search button.
Awesome. Okay, this is gonna be the last question for the lightning round.
Okay.
And it is this: your final advice to people who are still like outside the boat. They want to step in, but they're still on the fence.
If you want to try intermittent fasting, this is actually the best time to try intermittent fasting because people are into the lifestyle. It's actually a lifestyle change. I would tell people this is not a diet. People will usually ask, anong diet ginawa mo? It's not a diet. It's actually a lifestyle change. And it's something that is easy to follow, easy to do. It's, sabi mo nga, Joseph, you really need to have that motivation to do it. It has to start from yourself. No matter how kulit I am in telling you, Dave, start intermittent fasting, Joseph, start intermittent fasting, but if you yourself will not do it, it would just be me telling you to do it. It has to really come from yourself. So you really need to have that motivation. As the tagline from a famous coffee would say, para kanino ka bumabangon.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's my message to everybody. For those who wanted to try intermittent fasting, who are you doing intermittent fasting for? What
Awesome.
are you doing it for? And as you would put it, it's not just for physical. It has to have a deeper meaning. It has to have a purpose.
Yeah.
So in my case, my motivation is my family, my wife, my daughter, and my health.
Awesome. Well, it's not actually the last question. It's actually the second to last because the last question is, if people who are watching this, they have questions about intermittent fasting. Where can they go?
Connect with
How
you,
can you
or
connect
basically.
with you, or basically?
The
that.
group's name is Intermittent Fasting and How to Cope with IF. Basically, there are a lot of intermittent fasting groups online. You can join any of the groups, but if you try to search for Fasters PH, I actually have the name of the group change. One of my admins is a bit techie, so she knows how to change the group name. So you try to search for Fasters PH, FASTERS, then PH, or you can search How to Cope with IF. That's why I put How to Cope with IF because intermittent fasting is really something that you need to cope with. It's a lifestyle. So when you search How to Cope with IF, the group will come out. So you can just join the group. And then, once you're in the group, feel free to ask your questions. Feel free to use the search bar.
Yeah.
The search bar is there. All the informations are there in the group. There are a lot of information that you can read through. There are posts about women and intermittent fasting. There are even posts about people who have ulcer, who have diabetes, who have tried intermittent fasting. We also have a post about mothers who are breastfeeding. One tip for those who are still breastfeeding, you can do IF after you breastfeed your kid because enjoy motherhood because it's a once in a lifetime thing. So don't rush things. You can do IF after you're done with your breastfeeding. So try to search online Fasters PH, or you can just click on the search button and try to search How to Cope with IF and you will find the group.
Awesome.
All right.
All
Dennis,
right.
thank you so much for being here with us.
Yeah.
Guys,
It was
all
jam-packed, right?
Yeah, jam-packed. It's very inspiring. A lot of information that's shared today. Guys, if you want to, if you forgot about the link, you can just play back this video. The other thing you can do is when we release the show in the big picture
.ph
slash podcast
Yeah, or
slash
episode 45.
You will see all the links that has been discussed there, and we'll learn a lot more about IF. All right.
All right.
So Dave, any announcement before we go?
Well, yeah, just subscribe to our show and please share it. If you are inspired and you learn about intermittent fasting through this video or to this podcast, please share it to someone who needs it. That's it.
Okay. Again, for our sponsors, thank you, Workplace Cafe Ramos, for allowing us to use this space.
Yes.
Carve on Tech for your social media marketing needs. The
Podcast engineers.
Podcast Engineers and Karas Condotels. Guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been amazing afternoon for all of us. This is Joe.
This is Dave.
This is Dennis, and we're all signing off.